Hey everyone. So, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on learning, education, educating yourself on things before you have an opinion on it or whatever. I don't really believe in that kind of thing, but what do you think? Do you think it's a good thing to learn? Or do you think that learning is something that somebody in power, the people in power, like the government, came up with so that we have to learn in order to survive? That you have to go to college and get knowledge, or even if you don't go to college, you have to learn something. You have to learn some sort of skill in order to be able to provide something for someone to make money, to survive, or to be really rich if you want to be really rich. It seems like it's a little bit unfair because I don't think anybody actually enjoys learning, but maybe some people do. So, I don't know if I'm in favor of people learning stuff, but I will say that if you have to do it for money, it's probably worth it then, because it's nice to have money. Nobody does. I don't know anybody who actually doesn't want money, but I do know a lot of people who don't want to work or learn things because it's hard. But anyway, so that's me. I don't really want to work or learn or have to do anything hard, but I still want to make money. So I've lived a long life. I'm 23, 4-ish, somewhere around there. I forget. I've lived so long, it's like hard to remember what your age is when you get to be my age, you'll understand. But I thought, I didn't go to college, which is good for me. If people want to go to college because they enjoy it, that's great. But sometimes I'm like, do you actually enjoy it? Do you actually enjoy learning stuff and being educated? That's crazy. Maybe they do. Some people actually. It's kind of nice if you actually enjoy something that is useful. For me, I just enjoy doom scrolling. And that's apparently it doesn't really do much for me. It's not useful. So I thought, well, I should probably, instead of doom scrolling, I should scroll, like with an actual scroll from the ancient Egyptian times or whatever. Or just a book. I should read a book. So I'm going to learn. Happy Science Sunday. We're going to do science today, even though it's Monday. But hey, who said you can't learn science on Monday just because it starts with an S? So we're going to do biology, the homeschool, biology apologia, the Dr. Weil and Dr. Durnell wrote it, so should be good. Shouldn't be any of those lies from the government that says that we came from monkeys or whatever. So, I mean, maybe we did, but that would be kind of sad, don't you think? So, okay, Module 1. If biology is the study of life, we need to determine what life is. Now, to some extent, we all have an idea of what life is. If we were to ask you whether or not a rock is alive, you would easily answer no. That's interesting. Like, why do I know that? Why do I know that a rock isn't alive? I don't know anything about biology, but I know that. That's kind of creepy. On the other hand, if we were to ask you whether or not a blade of grass is alive, you would answer yes. But if it's just a blade cut off, I don't know. I would probably say, I don't know, because the grass is not connected to the ground, so it's probably dead. But it was alive. You can intuitively distinguish between living and non-living things. Okay. Even though in this case, scientists must be a little more deliberate in determining what it means to be alive. So they develop criteria. So the 4 criteria is they have to contain diabonucleic acid, which is pronounced DNA. Where did the N come from? It's 2 words. It's the D word. It's D. Diatribonacrylic, whatever. And then the A word, acid. But there's no N. Where did the N come from? See, this is the problem. Not that I would want to, but if I ever invented biology, I would have said, there's no N, so I would say just call it DA. Not DNA. The guy who, let's put the N in there, I'd be like, why are you putting the N in there? It's not there's no N. There's no word that starts with N. It's DNA. So it's just DA. But somebody had to add that in. All life forms must have a method to which to extract energy from the surroundings and convert energy that sustains them. Interesting. All life forms can sense changes in their surroundings and respond to those changes. I can't do that. I don't. So if we have to have all of these, all four of them, we can't just have one or two, then I'm not life because I can't sense. I never sense danger. I can't respond. Or if I sense danger, there's nothing I know how to do about it. All life forms reproduce if they're able to. If something meets all of these criteria, we can scientifically say so it has to meet all of the criteria. So DNA, now we're sure you've at least heard about DNA. Yes, I have, but I still don't understand why it's called DNA. DNA basically provides the information necessary to take a bunch of lifeless chemicals and turn them into ordered living system. Suppose, for example, we were to analyze an organism and determine every chemical that made up the organism. Suppose further that we went into a laboratory and made all of those chemicals and threw them into a big pot. Would we have made something that is alive? Of course not. Random chance doesn't work, people. You need God to make it be alive. We would not have made something that resembles the organism we studied. So in order to make life, we take the chemicals that make it up and organize them in a way that will promote the other life functions mentioned in our list of criteria for life. So it has to have all the other four. It's not enough just to be the chemicals. Whatever the dialacrylic acid is, apparently that's a chemical that you need more than that. So like they're saying if you get a box to make a bicycle and you get all the parts, it's not a bicycle. You have to intentionally design the bicycle. Hey, that makes sense. I agree with that. In the same way, DNA is the set of instructions that takes the chemicals which make up life and arrange them just the right way to produce a living. Oh, wait, DNA. Okay. So DNA is not the chemicals. It's the thing that brings all the chemicals together. Interesting. However, directed by the information in DNA, these molecules... DNA is like... It's like talking to you. It's like, hey, put that there, put that there. It's like the manager of your body, of your life. Isn't that weird? Anyway, well, that's enough learning for the day. I think that was interesting. You learn something new every day. What can I say? And after a few weeks, if I do like 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a week, I could probably become, maybe not a doctor, but maybe become a nurse or something with learning a little bit of biology. So when you're operating on somebody for surgery, you'd be like, well, I learned about DNA, so I know what I'm doing. And they'll be like, did you go to med school? No, but I read biology twice because I actually already read this book, but I forgot it, everything. That's the problem with learning when you're like 14. How was I supposed to remember? So I have to read it again, but never hurts to read stuff again. Anyway, thanks for learning it with me. Hopefully you learned something new too, and hopefully you can become a doctor too.